Sylvia? Rebecca? Wallengard? That doesn't make any sense, I shouted over to them. I thought Alice Wallengard was a vampire. Vampires can't have kids, I said in disbelief. Well, somebody is misinformed, Sylvia replied. I assure you, vampires can very much have children. They can bear children, and father them as well, depending on your gender, of course. There are some differences, most of which usually tend to amount to differences in the length of time you carry the child and how the child comes out in the end. That being whether both the parents are vampires or one of them is. For example, me and my sister Rebecca here are half-bloods, meaning that we are only actually half vampire. In other words, we possess most of the vampiric abilities, but to a lesser degree than our mother. We, unlike our mother, are also fully alive. However, our life force is different somewhat. We also don't have certain weaknesses that full-fledged vampires have. For example, we have no fear of sunlight. We can go out in the day just fine, and it's completely unnecessary for us to drink blood. Don't get me wrong, we can of course do it, and it sustains us fairly easily, but it's not necessary. We can eat regular food, and it serves no problem for us. If our father, on the other hand, were a vampire, like our mother, then we would have been full-fledged vampires, with all the abilities and assets as such. The only difference being the amount of time that we would have had to, how you might say, gestate. The timeline for giving birth to a full-fledged vampire is much greater than that of giving birth to a half-vampire, such as ourselves. It takes nearly 10 years to carry a full-fledged vampire child to fruition, while a half-vampire such as ourselves is born within a normal human time frame. So, now that you understand that, let me ask you a question. Why exactly were you here seeking my mother? I mean, it doesn't exactly seem like a smart idea, especially considering how easily we trapped you. Quite frankly, even if you die, right here and now, I can truthfully and honestly tell you that it would have been ever so much worse if you had actually met my mother. I mean, surely you must know her reputation. It's not exactly a subtle one. I stared over at her as he finished talking, just filling me in on the gaps. Right after telling me she's going to kill me, she doesn't even seem concerned about me at all, as if it's a set fact that she's gonna win, that I'm just done for. But I don't think they actually know who they're dealing with. This might be bad, but if it's not Alice Wallengard, there's a good chance I might be able to fight my way out of this, I thought, staring at Sylvia, as she just gave me that puzzled and somewhat cross expression. The only question is, how strong is she? How strong is her sister? I thought as I started to look over to her, and suddenly realized that she had an absolutely stunned expression on her face, like one you'd see online, of a cute kitty cat all wide-eyed staring at some shiny bauble. What's wrong with her? I said, as Sylvia looked over, noticing her sister's expression. Rebecca, what on earth are you making that expression for? Are you kidding me? You don't see it? You have to use your destiny sight, right now. Rebecca, what on earth are you talking about? His glow. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Sylvia gave Rebecca a cocked eyebrow of curiosity before looking back to me for a moment. And that's really all she did. She just looked at me, standing there for a few moments, looking me over. Then once again getting a curious expression and looking back to her sister. I don't see anything. I mean, certainly he has a measure of glow about him, but it doesn't seem all that impressive. What? Rebecca replied. So you don't see it? You must be kidding me. He's covered in golden light. It's massive. Blinding even. You don't see any of it? Rebecca said, looking at her sister puzzled. No, I don't see anything. Not anything abnormal. Oh my god, Rebecca said, beginning to pull her hands up to her face a bit, curling them into little fists, then starting to jump up and down in place. Maybe it's him! What are you talking about, Rebecca? Maybe he's the one. Oh my god, he's a knight! A knight in shining armor. I didn't expect an actual knight in shining armor, but I'm not going to say I don't like it. For a moment, Sylvia simply looked at her with a curious expression, before her eyebrows raised, like she had a thought. No, Sylvia said, looking over to Rebecca. No, no, no. Absolutely not. He's a burglar, Rebecca. Or some other manner of nefarious thing. You must be confused, that's all. It's a misunderstanding of sorts. It's probably just our destiny to kill him, that's all. What? Rebecca replied. No way. There is no way someone would have a glow like that just because I'm supposed to kill them. I'm telling you, sis, it's him. No, Rebecca, it's not. Let's just do away with him as planned and we can move on. What? No, you can't, Rebecca said, jumping out and clinging to her sister, hugging her tightly, which Sylvia did not at all seem to be too happy about. It was more like she was putting up with it. You can't. Come on. Be reasonable. It can't be him if he's dead. I mean, we don't have to kill him, right? Yes, Rebecca, we do. Who knows what he's up to here? He could do any number of nefarious things. We have to do away with him. It's my job to keep after your safety, even if you won't. So we're doing away with him. But Rebecca just continued to cling, crying, beginning to sob at her, looking up at her with puppy dog eyes. No, we can't. Destiny doesn't lie. I mean, we don't have to kill him. We can just send him somewhere, far away. I mean, he seems like a tough guy. He might come back. In fact, I'm sure he'll come back. Come on, pretty please, she said, still clutched to her tightly. Ugh, however do I put up with you? Fine, we won't kill him. We'll just beat him senseless, and then I'll send him somewhere. Somewhere unpleasant. That should do for the time being. Now would you please let go of me? Yay! Rebecca said, releasing her tight grasp of Sylvia and beginning to jump up and down in circles. Yay! I did it! Oh, just a minute, she said, swirling her finger again as a sheet of paper appeared floating in front of her alongside a pen. She seemed to write something down on it before tearing off a piece of the paper and then beginning to run in my direction, making her way all the way over to me and just standing in front of me with the biggest smile I've ever seen, like she just won the lottery. She reached down, grabbing my hand, and then put the piece of paper into it. Okay, now I'm gonna need you to keep a tight hold on that. I don't know if you have like pockets or anything in that armor, but you're gonna need that, okay? It's my phone number. So whenever you get out of wherever my sister ends up sending you, just go ahead and give me a call sometime. We have to talk. Lots and lots of talking. I want to know everything, she said, raising one hand to her face, cupping it a bit, as if she didn't want her sister to see what she was saying. It's okay, she whispered. I managed to talk her down a bit, but we're still gonna have to beat you up. But I think you're a tough guy. On second thought, you have to be a tough guy. You can take it. And I'll try to go easy on you, okay? But don't tell my sister I said that. She can be a little bit temperamental, Rebecca said before running back to her sister's side and standing with her hands clutched in front of her. Okay, I suppose it's time to get started. Ugh, Sylvia said. Finally, are you done with your silly nonsense? Good, then we can get to work.